Welcome to the Blokes Podcast. I'm Adam.
And I'm Greg. And we sit down once a week to shoot the breeze. We chat about anything and everything. Sports, films, drinking, politics, music, etc.
So sit back, crack open a beer and enjoy.
Hello, guys. Welcome.
Hello there.
Good
evening, Greg. Good evening, Gregory. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. We have another special guest with us this evening.
We do. A very special guest. We have, well, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'll tell you who I am. I am Greg's older brother. My name is Sean. And it's an absolute pleasure to be here, I have to say. Before we get going, thank you for letting me come on the show. I've been hounding Greg for a while, I'll be honest, and you guys have let me on, so thank you.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. It's good to have a relative on. This is fantastic.
You
can give us all the juicy goss on Greg, all the embarrassing stories.
I'm scared now. I don't know. He's got too much dirt on me.
Yeah, it's quite good.
But we'll see. We'll be all right.
I'll be honest, right? I've watched season 3, right? So this is the problem with Greg. He didn't tell us about the podcast, all right? We didn't find out until midway through season 3. So I've listened to season 3, obviously started 4. So I'm not the legacy episodes yet. I've got to go onto the back catalogue. But just as a heads up, Greg's not the best PR for this podcast, all right?
I'm trying not to keep it. I wasn't keeping it from my family on purpose. It was just, I don't know. I'll have to think a little bit more about what I say. I've got like every member of my family listening in randomly, you know. So, but no, it's good. I'm glad you like it, dude. And it's really good to have you. It's I was excited about this one, so this is gonna be good.
Awesome. Exactly. And it means that once you've been on the show, you can now listen back to series 1 and 2, and you can realise how crap we were when we were figuring out like how to speak to each other.
The claps. I bet the claps were all over the place.
Exactly, we just couldn't get in sync. No. So Sean, what we usually do when we have a guest on is we start by asking them what they're drinking, because I'm sure you've heard now from Series 3 that we usually kick off with a beer or something a bit lighter, dealer's choice, basically. So what's in your glass tonight, mate?
I have gone for, this is a Golden Sheep Golden Ale.
Oh, yes. I love a Golden Sheep.
Yeah, Golden Sheep Ale by the Black Sheep Brewery. This is my favourite Sunday afternoon beer. All right? There's a roast cooking. Yeah. You've got a couple of hours to eat. It's maybe midday.
Oh, yeah. It's never too early.
You can these slide down so easily. The brewery is just up the road from where I live. And I think there's something special when you've been to the brewery or the distillery. Like, everyone says Guinness tastes better if you've been to the Guinness
from the
brewery.
source.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I think there's definitely an emotional thing with it. Once you've heard the story and you've been through the whole tour and you get to the end and you are dying for that drink, and it just means more. So it's one of my favourite beers, probably because of that. But it does taste pretty good as well, to be fair. It's a great golden ale for sure.
Awesome.
Big time. I love it. It's a proper Yorkshire ale as well. There's no mucking about. There's no California. There's no like citrusy mango flavours. It's a proper brown ale. I love it. Just the colour. As soon as you lifted that pint glass up, I was like, that's my man. That's my guy.
Northern beer right there. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the cool thing about it, so Black Sheep Brewery, right? And you've heard of Theakston's, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Theakston's is in this little town called Massam, and they obviously brewed loads of beer, and the family sold out to a big corporation, but one of the brothers didn't want to sell out, so he set up his own brewery in the same tiny town and called it Black Sheep because he was the black sheep of the family. And I think that's such a cool story. What a cool idea. And, it's still an independent brewery now in this very cool little Yorkshire village. So, yeah, big up the independent breweries.
Yeah, big time. So,
Great.
Theakston's, that was Pedigree, right? Is that their sort of big, famous one?
I think it's one of their legendary beers, yeah.
Yeah. That's I'm shunning them now though because they've been bought out by massive
afraid they have.
multinational.
Yeah, they sold
going.
out.
I'm going golden sheep all the way.
Good.
Fantastic. That's a great way to kick off the show, man. That's a really cool beer, and I have had that a couple of times, and yeah, I can attest to its blokey greatness for sure. It's a good drink. What have you got, Greg?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm coming in with something I've never had before. I'm going for an EPA, an English Pale Ale.
Now we're talking.
Okay, this is it. So I don't think I've actually had an EPA. Maybe I have, but not realised it. But yeah, so they're basically saying it's the Pale Ale. So basically like a golden ale, probably very similar to yours actually, Sean. But it's a pale ale, but without the sort of mango-y, grapefruit, super citrusy flavours, effectively. And it is good. It's called English Pale Ale EPA by Marston's Brewery.
Nice.
I don't know. I've never heard of them. I don't know if you guys have, but
yeah,
it's good. It's 3.6%, so it's pretty light on the alcohol, and it does. I don't want to be a dick, but it does taste a little bit watered down. Possibly, I don't know if that's just me being a bit harsh on it now, but it's a nice flavour up front, and then it sort of just disappears, and it's almost like it's been watered down. So it's not bad. You could drink a lot of them and not worry about it. So it's probably good for a night out. Actually, I would say that. But yeah, so that's what I'm going for.
Like a nice session.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, like a session pale ale for sure, because it's definitely low on the alcohol, and I could imagine drinking a few of these and not worrying too much about it. But yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go. So yes, it's okay.
Average.
Marston's Brewery, it's okay.
One thumb up, not two, just one. That's awesome. I often feel that we rate things too highly on this show. So a solid 5, 6 out of 10. That's good. We're bringing the average down.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. That's we throw some breweries under the bus just to bring them down. Yeah.
So what's interesting about that is that I assumed it would just be this sort of English equivalent of an IPA, right? Which is usually, well, traditionally it's significantly stronger, wasn't it? Because it had to sort of last longer on ships going out to India.
Yeah.
Right? So I assumed it would just be like, we've made it, but we've kept it in England and not shipped it out to India. But it would still be the same strength. So that's interesting that they've gone for the opposite theory. And they've just gone like a light session, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I say, I feel bad now about what I've said. It would be good if you're going to have a few drinks and you don't want to have a massive hangover or anything like that. This is perfect, but yeah, you can definitely tell it's weaker. There we go.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you think they're jumping on the pale ale bandwagon maybe quicker than they are designing a good beer?
Probably. I mean, the pale ale bandwagon's gone. It's bolted. Like, if you're not on it now, it's too late, right? I feel like, I don't know.
There's a lot out
I think that they're a bit late. It's just a shame, because Marston's, I don't know, just sounds cool.
Yeah. Is it Burton-on-Trent? Stoke-on-Trent? Is that sort of... It's that sort of neck of the woods, isn't it?
That's hats off.
Yeah.
That's right.
Come on, Greg.
Marston Brewery.
What is it?
Burton-upon-Trent, mate. Oh my God!
I feel like I hit a hole in one.
Who are you?
Mate, that's my neck of the woods, though, isn't it? Originally, because I'm from Nottinghamshire. It's not close, but it's not too far. It's that sort of, I've seen it on many a tap in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome.
Okay, cool, sweet. Well, there we go. What you got, mate?
So, what I've got is I thought we'd kick into the general theme of this show early, right? Because this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about guilty pleasures. So I thought I'd kick off with a guilty pleasure, and I wouldn't have a beer, right? So this is my guilty pleasure in terms of drinks. I'm going for a gin and tonic.
Oh,
not the blokiest thing in the world, right? But this is my early drink, quote unquote, right?
Yeah,
I love a gin and tonic. I don't care what anybody says; it's fantastic. I know it's a sort of girly drink or a grandma drink or whatever. I think it's cool. It's refreshing. There's a lot of sort of bullshit around gin nowadays because everyone can make it in their bath and. There's a million different gins being made nowadays and all this sort of thing. Every pub's got their own local gin, which I think is cool, but there's also a lot of sort of posturing and like BS basically around it, and I think it's a mixer. It's made to be drunk with a mixer, right? You're not really sipping it neat like you would be a Scotch or something. So I think, listen, middle of the road gin is fine by me. I don't care what the flavours are, as long as it's nice and cold, nice and fresh, and it's in a nice glass, basically. So that's that's my first guilty pleasure of the evening. I'm going gin and tonic.
Great choice. Really, really good. I don't know about you, Sean, but like growing up, our dad would drink gin and tonics.
Out of that glass that Adam's got, like a proper tumbler.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely, it's definitely a drink that we grew up with, and I've always thought they were cool. I probably didn't know they weren't cool until too late, you know.
Yeah.
I'd already ordered a few before realising people had given me sideways looks in the pub.
At the golf club, yeah. You're known as the gin and tonic guy.
Yeah. You never want to be known as the gin and tonic.
No, shake it off. Shake it off
yeah,
quick.
for sure. Yeah, but a great choice, man.
For me, though, like, gin and tonic has to be in the sun.
I know what you're saying.
I mean, sunshine, gin and tonic, one of the most refreshing drinks you can actually probably get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I would just drink it at home.
I know what you're saying for sure. It's kind of got that almost colonial, like sundowner connotation to a gin and tonic, isn't it? The kind of ginger moustache in India with like khaki shorts on, drinking a gin and tonic.
Safari hat.
Safari hat. Nigel Thornberry vibes, like slurping a gin and tonic at about 6:30 or whatever when the sun's going down.
For sure.
So yeah, it's got those vibes for me, and that's why I quite like it. And one of my ultimate blokes, Ian Fleming, was a massive gin drinker. He used to like a gin and tonic. So there's loads of checks on the list for me for a gin and tonic.
Great.
What have you got in it? Anything other than obviously tonic and gin? But do you have anything in it to make it?
Yeah. So this specific one, I've got Plymouth gin. I've got. This might be sacrilege, but I've got Schweppes, mate. Schweppes tonic. I know now fever trees hit the scene. Everyone sort of disses Schweppes. And I'm like, nah, I think that's marketing. Schweppes is fine.
100%.
Yeah, and then I've gone for a slice of orange as the garnish.
Orange?
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah.
I tell you what, a bit of cucumber for me, actually, for some reason, works really well.
Couldn't agree more. Love a cucumber gin and tonic. I'll hand my man card in a second.
Yeah. Guilty.
Mate, I think we're all handing him in by the end of this episode, I think, judging by the topic. But Sean, actually, before we move on to something different, I wanted to talk to you about drinks, because I think you will admit through your younger days, you were a big drinker. You went out, you went to university, there's a lot of drinking going about. And we used to have conversations when I turned like 18, 19, and I'd go to the pub and have a pint. We'd talk and sort of compare notes, and you would say like you wouldn't understand by that. Like if we want to go out, you can have a few. Whereas nowadays, you can enjoy a couple of beers here and there. You're not always going out on the lash. You enjoy gin and tonic in the sun, all this kind of stuff. So what changed? Because we've had a lot of guys on that were in the same spot as you, I think. They're just like lager drinkers or whatever. How did you transition to that allow, I don't know,
to be in a
grown up, yeah. Because me and Adam, we skipped that stage. Yeah. We went straight to old man.
No. You did. I'll tell you what, actually, that's. I mean, 100%. You've hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I get the feeling you guys would much prefer a whiskey in a dressing gown and just chill out and watch an 80s action movie, whereas. I think throughout my teens and 20s, I was definitely a bit more of a binge drinker at the weekends, and I wouldn't just have a beer. I almost saw it as pointless. I saw it as I'm just here. Let's get drunk.
How can less be more?
Which is
more is more.
More is more.
More is more. But yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know what it was. Whether was it having a son or. I don't know. I just enjoy a few drinks at the weekend now, and I actually enjoy the taste, and I enjoy trying different things. I don't know when it happened or why it happened. I can't put my finger on it.
Was there like a gateway beer that you had, and you were like, "Oh yeah, this is great," and that was like your introduction into it, or I don't know. 'Cause I'm sure there's guys listening in right now that would love to have, I don't know, an idea of where to go. Because there's guys that want to try whiskey, they want to try beers, they just haven't got into